Hello, everyone. Mr. Seymour here. Really excited to welcome everybody back for the new 2020-21 school year. There's a lot of excitement building here amongst the staff as we've been back at school the last week or so, preparing and getting ready. And we're really excited and looking forward to have everybody back on campus soon. The purpose of this message today is to elaborate on the details regarding our back to school process and procedures. In the communication I sent out last week, I gave just a little bit of information about that and indicated that more would be coming. So this is the next edition. What I want to do is share my screen and pull up some of the slides that I put together to, again, help with the explanation of all the process and procedure that we're going to be going through. So should be ready any moment. Okay, so like I said, welcome back, and we are really excited about what is in store for us this school year. As I've been reflecting through the spring and over the summer, and just talking with folks as well, I think everybody really missed what school brings for our lives, whether it's just that routine, but certainly the relationships and the learning and the engagement. It's all a big part of our lives, and we missed it, and we're excited that we're going to be back soon. The staff has been back at work here since the 26th, and we're preparing and getting used to the new normal and the procedures. And I know the staff are really excited and they're ready to have students back. So the question is, what is it going to take for us to return safely? And these are some of the thoughts that I have about that. You know, we do have process and procedures that we're going to explain and go through, and that's really important for the safe return. But it's certainly also about caring about and thinking about others, working together, and really trying to be a leader and a role model, and to help those around. Part of it is understanding the process and procedures and why, and then obviously following through is really where it happens. I was also thinking a little bit about, you know, the things that's going to be new for us all, and then maybe some things that we thought were going to be new, but are becoming very, very quickly, they're becoming some part of the normal. And what I mean by that is, what's new is that, you know, there are a lot of people here that we haven't been around. So maybe, you know, you're used to being with your family and maybe a small group of friends, but there's going to be a lot of folks here at school that we haven't been around, and maybe just the group aspect of it as well. That's certainly going to be new. But what's not going to be new, you know, because it's really becoming part of the routine in the community. For those of you who, you know, have been out to stores, or maybe you've got a part-time job, you're following many of the same procedures that we're going to have in place here at school. You're doing those already. And I think another piece that's just, it should always be a part of the game, which is just thinking about and caring about others, and how do we help everybody to be successful. So one important part is the wearing of masks. So this has become commonplace across the community as well. A school committee has a policy that requires masks for students. So in order to be in school, you have to wear a mask, and you have to keep that on throughout the day. So that means that when you ride the bus, you wear a mask. When you enter the school building, your mask needs to be on. When you're walking down the hallway, you must have your mask on. When you're in a classroom, you must be wearing a mask. That mask should fit well. It should cover your nose and your mouth. Some of the masks that maybe you've been wearing aren't going to be acceptable when you come back to school. Things like gaiters, bandanas, and things. You need to have a mask that fits well and covers your nose and your mouth. If you take that mask off during class, you should expect your teacher to address you about it and encourage you and remind you to put it back on. If this happens repeatedly, you should expect that to be sent to the office, and then we're going to talk more about that. This is really important, and we take it seriously. And ultimately, you have to have that mask on and keep it on in order to attend school. So in order to support students, and frankly the adults as well, because we all have to do this, we are going to be having regular mask breaks throughout the day, each period. So your teachers will incorporate that into your class. If you're walking outside the class from the high school to the middle school, and you can keep your 6-foot distance from others, you can take that mask off. But remember, when you get to the next building, or if you start to have others come near you, put that mask back on. When you're eating, you're going to have your mask off as well. Teachers are encouraged to use outdoor spaces for class, and when they do that, and we can keep our 6-foot distance, you can also have a mask break during that time. Here is a picture of one of the 5 spaces in our courtyard that have been designated as outdoor learning, and there are other places around campus as well that your teachers can sign up and take their classes outside. Hand hygiene is another really important part of our safe return. Keeping your hands clean and keeping them from touching your face is an important part of preventing the spread of illness. So washing and sanitizing when you arrive in the morning, around mask breaks and around eating, really, really important. And then as well, on your way out the door, sanitize as well. Here's a picture of a classroom that happens to have a sink, so there would be washing and sanitizing available. Hand sanitizer is readily available all around the building, in every classroom, in the hallways, everywhere you turn, you're gonna find hand sanitizing solution. Another important part is the 50% cohorts. This allows us to reduce the total number of students in the building, and then we can accomplish keeping social distance in classrooms, halls, cafeterias, and buses. Here are pictures of some classrooms around the school. You can see we've removed furniture and we have less furniture there that can then be spread out. It's important to note that while these cohorts are approximately 50% of the grade, in other words, about 50% of freshmen are in Group A and if 50% are in Group B, and so on for the 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, when that gets applied to the various sections across the entire master schedule, it doesn't work out exactly to be 50% class after class. But our goal is to have the capacity of the classroom meet the number of students in there. And we've carefully looked at all this and made adjustments when necessary so that we can keep the social distance in the classrooms. So the 50% cohorts obviously is a big part of the whole social distance. In the classrooms, there will be assigned seating. Students will be in those and you'll be at the social distance. We need students' help walking between classes and for these in-between times. We need you to be proactive and monitor yourselves. And if we see you grouping up, we will be reminding you that you can't do that and that you need to spread out. So it's important that you're proactive about keeping your distance and not grouping up. Our cafeteria process will include 3 lunches this year. So we have 50% attendance, and that's spread across 3 lunches. And we're doing that in order to get the number low enough so that we can actually fit students in our cafeteria and into our overflow seating spaces. Just like in the classrooms, we need to know where students are sitting. And so we have a process in the cafeteria where you will scan a QR code and then simply enter your name and the seat where you're sitting. Here is a picture of the cafeteria. And if you look closely, you can see some stickers on seats, so that we have, again, quite a bit of distance. Students will only be sitting on one side of these tables. So when you come in, you're gonna find a seat. This doesn't show on this picture, but there would then be a sticker on the table with the QR code and the number of the seat, and you simply enter that you sat in that seat. Bathrooms is another place where we need to monitor social distance and capacity. So all of the bathrooms in the school have been labeled with these capacity limits. So if you go into this bathroom and there's already 2 people in there, you're gonna simply stand in the hallway and wait. When someone leaves, then you can go in and use the restroom. There is no food or drink in classrooms. We're gonna be wearing masks in our classrooms, and so we can't be taking them off to eat or drink. Water is the only exception, and when you have a mask break and you go to take that break, that would be the opportunity to have some water. If you have class at the middle school, and there still are some high school classes at the middle school, you need to follow their process and procedures. The point today is not to get into all of that detail, but to let you know that you're gonna enter into the front door and you're gonna follow whatever hallway patterns are posted. And if someone corrects you because you're not where you're supposed to be or you're going the wrong way, please be kind, understanding, and follow directions. And we always wanna make a great impression when high school students are over at the middle school. For parents that are coming to school, so say you have to drop something off for your child, a lunch, a bag, a book, something that they left at home, just to try to reduce trips in and out of the building. There's gonna be a shelf right outside the front door, and you can leave that clearly marked for your child, and then just let us know that it's there, and we will make sure it gets to your child. If you're coming in for a meeting, park in the visitors section of the parking lot, and after getting buzzed in to the building, you're gonna go to guidance on the right or the main office on the left, check in, sign in, and whoever you're meeting with will come meet you and take you to where you need to be. A few other things that I just wanted to point out. Our physical education classes will only be doing physical activity outside. And when they can't be outside, they will have other learning activities for students. The same thing goes for the band and wind instruments in the chorus, where they will only be singing or playing outside. And when they can't be outside, they will plan other things for the students to work on. We're not issuing hallway lockers to students, and we're not using our locker rooms. And You might just keep your eyes out for other capacity limits. Maybe you're going into the guidance office, and you want to make sure that you're not overcrowding that space as well. The cleaning process, in addition to our normal custodial staff, there will be additional folks working throughout the day to help with ongoing cleaning of frequently used surfaces and bathrooms. And then every night, the school will go through a thorough cleaning and sanitation process using the fogging and disinfectant spray. And here's a picture of one of our custodians in the process of applying that. It's sprayed on all surfaces, and when it dries, everything is clean and ready to go. Another thing that is important to note is the activity on campus. If you've driven by at all recently, you obviously know that it's a busy place with the construction project. So it's really exciting to see the project starting to develop and change the look of the campus. But if you're coming here, please be on the lookout for vehicles and be very careful. We have a no-fly zone for construction vehicles. There's no activity for them between 7 and 8 and 2 and 3, which are our heavy traffic times. But if you're coming or going between 8 and 2, just keep your eyes peeled for, a dump truck, a loader, whatever it might be around campus. So just be careful, please. Here's a picture of the back side of the building, which is hard to find. We see the front a little bit easily, but this is what it looks out back. The foundations are starting to come together. A couple of comments about the traffic flow. Because our parking lot is now out front, it does impact the traffic flow on campus. I'm going to go through this slide, and then I'm going to show a couple of images to just try to make it clearer. Everyone's going to enter the same place by the electronic sign, so that's not new. But then after we get down the driveway a little bit, things change. So the buses are going to be dropping off students, and our goal is to have them dropping off between the goalpost and the middle school. So trying to keep them a little bit further down the driveway to allow cars to do their thing on the eastern side of the driveway. Cars dropping off students will enter the circle for drop-off, and then they will be directed through the new parking lot and exit out onto Route 113. Obviously, cars that are going to park, you're going to come into the lot and you're going to find your assigned space. So here's two images. The first just shows the buses. So the buses, again, the goal is to keep them on that western side of the driveway so that cars have a little bit easier time on the eastern side. And here is what it looks like for those coming for drop-off. So driving in, coming up through the circle. Please, if you're the first car in, please pull around the circle, almost like you're heading back out, and then stop and drop off just to allow more cars behind you. And then you're going to be directed through the parking lot out to 113. There will be staff outside directing traffic and helping with this flow. And there will be a crossing guard on Route 113 to keep that traffic moving as well. A couple of notes about orientation. We're not having a separate freshman orientation this year. We're having orientation for all students because of the new process and procedures we want to go through. So on Thursday the 10th, cohort A and C will be here for orientation. And then on Friday, the cohort B students will be here. So when you arrive, you're going to go to homeroom, you're going to get some information, and then you're going to follow your schedule. It's a half day of school, so classes are abbreviated, and we will be meeting with each grade throughout the day to further review all of these process and procedures and probably add a few more things as we go. So the final piece for me is just this slogan that we keep hearing around, but it's certainly true. We're all in this together. And in order for this to work, we need to all work together. So we need to follow the process and procedures. We need to know them and follow them. And we always need to lead with kindness and be supportive of each other. And again, it is an opportunity for students to be a leader, to set a good example, and to really think about how they can help those around them. If anybody needs help, please reach out to your teacher, reach out to your guidance counselor, talk to an administrator. We certainly want to help give you whatever support you need so that we can all have a successful year. So that brings me to the end of this information. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And I look forward to seeing everybody real soon. Take care.